Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, according to today's Ottawa Citizen, the Secretary of State for Multiculturalism was quoted as saying at a party meeting some time ago, and I'm quoting from what he's supposed to have said in this conversation, and it's a quote that's directly attributed to him, Mr. Speaker. He says, "Now this notion that there's somebody tied to the Heritage Front, how do we know that? And how do we know that this isn't overheated Sikhs using the race card, which they so often do when their credentials are being questioned?" So my question to the Secretary of State is this: did he in fact use these words in a conversation, and does he feel that these comments are appropriate?
The Honourable Secretary of State for Multiculturalism.
Thank the member for the question and the opportunity to respond, Mr. Speaker. I did use those remarks in a particular context, and I don't think they were appropriate. I expressed regret at the time. I do so again. I think it's unfortunate that a particular media outlet and now the official opposition are resorting to using 8-year-old material from Canada's version of the National Enquirer called Frank Magazine for question period material. I've never seen that happen in the past 10 years here. But, Mr. Speaker, I will say this. I've devoted much of my time in public life to promoting the active involvement of Canadians from diverse backgrounds in our political institutions. And, Mr. Speaker, I'm proud of my record in that respect.
Toronto Centre.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I would just observe that members opposite have used at least 30-year-old material against many of us on this side, so I don't think the minister can hardly complain. I want to say to the Secretary of State, of course, we accept his apology on this side, but I want to ask him if he can explain a pattern that we see, a pattern in which things are said behind closed doors, which are very different from what is said in public. A pattern in which things are caught on tape or caught on microphone unexpectedly that are very different from the public statements that ministers say and do. How can you explain that pattern, Minister, when it so clearly runs against the stated positions of your government?
The Honourable Secretary of State.